For the first time in 2 years, we can officially say we have entered a crypto bear market, and this is being driven by the Bitcoin trends. Let's check it out. Welcome back into the Bitcoin chart, guys. If you'd like to buy Bitcoin or want some free Bitcoin, there are a couple of links down in the description of today's video. And then you might recall from the last Bitcoin video we were still sitting above this line. And this line is our upwards trend. And it's the bottom of it. It's our key point of support. And this trend has basically been going since all the way over here on the 12th of March 2020. Now, as you can see, finally, this trend has been broken, and it was broken obviously once over here on the 12th of May, but we managed to, bounce back in. But finally, we fell through this trend about a week ago, and that was about on the 11th, 12th of June. We're now currently sitting at a value of $20,000, $20,350, per Bitcoin. And we got to a low over here on the 18th of June, and that low was $17,567. So this line, for me, was really the indicator that we are going into a bear market. This was still holding up, and as you can see, it was a major point of support for us. So until we actually hit that point, we had not entered our bear market, in my personal opinion, but we certainly have done so now. And if you've been watching my other videos, what we've been talking about is we could see potentially up to 90% drops from our highs across the board for cryptos. And those are the ones that actually do survive. The others will certainly go to zero. So if we're taking those sort of figures, where will we potentially end up? Well, our overall high over here, which was from our last run, was on the 10th of November 2021. And we got to a high of $69,000 exactly per Bitcoin. So what does a 90% drop on that look like? Well, we could possibly be talking $6,900. So basically what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to put a marker in place. And that marker is going to be at, roughly that point. I'm going to try and make it, as exact as I possibly can. It's probably going to be slightly off just due to the fact that, there we go, 6,904. And if we extend that out, what you'll notice is this is a point we were back at ages ago. We have not seen this point for quite some time. But interestingly enough, that is still not a point which is below where our run started. So our run started back over here on the 13th of March, and on that day we hit a low of $3,858. That is still basically double that point, which is very interesting and really should show us the strength of this. But yes, we're currently sitting at $20,000, but this is a very real possibility as to where we could be going down to. Now, obviously, from where we are now to that point, it looks like quite a distance. But if we even just have a look at what's happened over the past week or so, we've dropped from this point here at 31,000 all the way down to 20,000. In fact, even less, 17,000 within the space of basically a week. So these drops will happen, and they can happen hard and fast. That is the volatility of crypto. But if we look at crypto historically, and I'm going to go to, the weekly chart for this and start moving over a bit, what you'll notice is we always bounce back. And I'm just going to use the most recent example of this. So on the run before our current run, we hit a high over here on the 11th of December 2017, and that high was that $19,891 mark. And then we started trending in a downwards direction. And the lowest point we got to from that was on the 17th of December 2018, or the week of, and that low was 3,184. So quite a significant drop, but in time we bounced back. And yes, that genuinely did take years for us to get back up to that point. In fact, we only hit that point on the week of the 30th of November 2020. So you can see a big difference there. Basically 3 years difference it took us to get back, but we got back. This is the nature of crypto at this point in time. Now, I'm not going to really go into too much detail with what's going to happen, but I think the overall price prediction at this point in time is worst case scenario, we're going down to the 6,900 odd level. Obviously, we might dip slightly below, we might not touch it at all. It really depends on how well we actually do hold up. So let's have a look at a few other indicators and what we're seeing. What you'll notice is we saw a big dump on the 13th of June, and that's reflected by this big red candle we saw, and of course as well the volume really peaking compared to what we've seen, I suppose, for quite some time. The last time we saw volume of that proportion was over here on the looks like the 19th of May roughly 2021, and a similar thing was happening. People are panicking, but then we swoop back up, but that is still in the same bull run. So pretty interesting that people panic and dump their Bitcoin, but then you'll notice they all buy it back over a period of time and make a bit more money back. So keep that in the back of your head. What will really show this is our RSI. And our RSI is showing that we dropped significantly. We're at an RSI on the 6th of June of 51.36, so pretty much smack bang in the middle. By the 18th of June, we'd hit a low of 20.34, which really just reflects the selling pressure that's currently going on. And whilst, yes, we are currently still in the oversold range at 28.46, I think the selling certainly is not over yet, and that's just based on what we have seen historically. Let's have a look at the MACD just to get a grasp of where we're going. You can see, yes, we are starting to swoop back up on the 12-day EMA after it crossed obviously below the 26-day EMA over here on the 12th of June. And in my opinion, that's the major driver for that big dump that we've seen here. Of course, whenever the MACD crosses, it is a confirmation that the trend is reversing. So keep that in mind. Although we are swooping up starting right about now, I don't think we're going to see a lot of confidence. People are scared at this point in time, and I think particularly for investors and experienced investors, it's hard to pick the bottom. You really want confirmation that the bottom is in before you start buying. And based on history, well, as we've seen, it could be still quite a ways off yet. So why would you buy in when we are potentially going down to significantly lower levels? We're talking about, just over a quarter of the current price. So that is a big drop. So if I could give anyone, I suppose, a bit of guidance, it would simply be to watch and wait. Wait for those confirmation reversals and patterns to start occurring. And what you want to see is basically the price moving in an upwards direction over an extended period of time. One great way to do that is, using the MACD as we discussed before, but you look from a longer term point of view. So if we go to the monthly chart, for instance, and look at the MACD on here, you can see that is quite clearly still trending downwards. There's no upward swoop coming. And I can guarantee if we look at the monthly, it's exactly the same. You can see we're moving in a downwards direction. Realistically, based on the monthly, we have been, in that downward spiral since the 1st of January over here. That was really the key point. Are we going to keep going? I think we certainly are until we hit that key point down here at 6,900. That wraps up today's analysis on Bitcoin, guys. I'd love to hear your thoughts down in the comment section below. Of course, if you did enjoy today's video as well, make sure you do leave a thumbs up. And if you want to see more of this sort of content, hit subscribe and turn on those bell notifications. I'll leave it there for today, guys. I hope you have an awesome day. I'll see you next time. Cheers.